Marloes.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you for meeting me. And want to share first, because people will be watching this. Um, I am a little bit about me and a little bit about you so that people will
Hmm.
know who you are. So I'm a lector, which is a Dutch concept. And across the world, a research professor is better in inclusive education. But I am not here in my position, officially. This is pure because of my profession. I'm very interested in inclusive education and what it means to students, but also what it means, for teaching staff. And I think because of my position, people have been calling me parents, and talking about how hard it has been, as far the transition with the children at home and online. And teaching staff has been telling me how they work more now than they did before. So this is uh, purely personal interest. It's not an official anything. We happen, and so I put out a call that I wanted to talk with people about it, and you answered. And we happen to work at the same university, but again, this is not an official university. So tell me a little bit about yourself, or tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Marloes, and I work for the Hague University of Life Sciences. I work for international business as a lecturer. But this semester, I'm more involved in developing education for next year
Okay.
and supporting my colleagues this year.
Okay.
I'm also a parent.
Yes.
So I live here in Leiden with my husband and my two kids. My kids are 6 and 8,
Okay.
and my husband works in the pharmacy. So he works in the pharmacy most of the week.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I've seen this whole period like from two perspectives as a teacher and also an educational developer, getting like keeping education going and preparing for like next semester and also supporting my colleagues
Right.
there. But I'm also a parent with two young kids who have to be homeschooled and who are like in the middle of everything.
Yes. And so you said their ages are 3, 6, and
No,
8?
no, 6 and 8.
6 and 8. Six and
Yeah,
eight. Okay. Both already in school.
yeah.
Okay.
They're both in
And
school, so
mhm.
group 3 and group 5. And my daughter is really learning to read and write this year.
Okay. So that's very labor intensive, I would
Yeah.
assume.
Mm-hmm.
So and um and so and did you have previous experience yourself as a teacher doing online?
I've never really done online teaching, but my courses were already pretty blended.
Okay. Okay. So a little bit, yeah. Okay, good. So I have a few questions for you, some as a parent and some as a teacher. They're basically the same questions.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so my first question for you as a parent, what was this like for you children to go through this transition? What was it like for them?
Well, to be fair, my children love it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they never want to go back to school. I'm sorry, teachers. Yeah. They really like to be home and to be like more, to them it's more relaxed
Mm.
because normally we're very busy. Both me and my husband are working 4 days a week, and school starts at 8:15, so we're always in a rush.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
And now we can like build our own rhythm and
Yeah,
adapt to that and have like structured time for schooling, structured time for playing, and I think
yeah,
they'll remember this is very free time.
yeah, 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 yeah. So about how many hours is spent on schooling now?
I think on a normal day we spend between 10 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then we
Okay,
have 3 breaks. So we do an
okay,
hour of schooling, half an hour moving, like sports, hour schooling, then like afternoon break, and then like what's like everything we have to do to finish the day's tasks, and then I just leave them play.
okay. Now, and is this the schedule that you came up with, or is this the schedule that the school provided?
Well, in the beginning, the school was struggling with giving us a structure. My daughter's teacher has been amazing.
Yeah,
And she's been saying from the first week onwards, we're not going to bother too much about the tools. I'm just going to give you a structure and you can just keep on to that. So she kind of gave us a like half an hour structure. And I
yeah,
kind of made my own structure around it to make sure it aligned with my son's structure. But
Right.
my boys' teachers have been struggling a bit more. I think it took them
Yeah.
3 weeks in the beginning. They just send us link after link, and I know they've been trying their best, but I know a lot of parents around me have been very confused.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
being a
Yeah. Yeah.
teacher myself, I thought, okay, I'm just not going to bother. I'm just going to print my own stencils, and I'll just keep, I know what you have to learn, and I'll just keep it up like that.
Right. Right.
But
Right.
when I've been like in conversations with friends, I know that that's been very stressful for many.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. And so, so my next question is, how did it affect your household? This whole transition. How did it affect your family as a whole? I know your kids love it, but
Yeah,
how did it? Yeah.
I think in the beginning it's very stressful. It's such a puzzle how everyone was looking for, especially in the first few weeks, everybody really wanted to do their best. Everybody was like, okay, let's put our shoulders
Yeah.
to touchism, like let's get going. Everybody was like trying out new things, setting everything up, but all at the same time. So I think we were all overdoing it,
Yeah.
which made it very stressful.
Yeah.
But then when we all got into the rhythm, it actually made it better than before.
Okay.
I
And
think
how
we're very
long? Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think when we all sunk into a rhythm, both the
Hmm.
teachers and us, and we kind of knew what to expect of ourselves and of each other, then it like we got into a routine and we were actually very efficient and very. I think it made us closer as well.
Okay. Nice. And how long did that take till you got into that rhythm?
Yeah, I think 2.5 weeks,
Okay.
3 weeks,
Okay.
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 Yeah, first week of being confused, second week of being very active, third week of being, oh my God, I'm very active, but it's still a mess. And then by the end of that week, we're like, okay, just let go, make make the most of it, and just go with the flow.
Yeah. 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 Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
But then I
um,
think that in everyone. So by the third week, we were all relaxed, and I will see my neighbors who like spend more time outside and spend more time with the kids. But in the beginning, we just kept like holding on
yeah.
to everything, making the perfect
Yeah.
first step, perfect everything.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a beautiful lesson, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
I
I think
love
so.
it. I
Yeah.
love it. What was your biggest source of help?
I think, like I said, it was my daughter's primary school teacher who really set the example there,
Yeah.
and also my colleagues. I've
Mm.
got a very nice, close group of colleagues. We've
Yeah.
just been talking through this before Corona started. We've already been
Yeah.
starting to plan our own classes the week before we all went in lockdown. So we were prepared.
Yeah. 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 Okay.
And we talked a
And
lot about it to each other, and we also kept ourselves sane.
yeah.
That first week when we all wanted to go crazy, we said, no, we thought about this. Let's not go over it. Let's just keep with our initial plans. Let's keep with what we wanted to achieve with the students in the first place when we were still in school.
Yes.
But we all wanted to do more,
Yeah. Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
very weird way.
Yeah.
Do you
Because you
recognize
want to
that?
do
Have you
it
heard that
right.
before? Like
I'm
we all
sure you
wanted to
want to
like
do it right.
change everything for perfect everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Now, that.
And
So that's
also, can I say one more thing? And
yeah. Go
also
ahead. Go ahead.
from IB, the management's been very good. They've been sending us like messages every week, sometimes twice every week, saying, guys, you're doing a great job. Don't overdo it. We know you have children at home. Make
Nice.
feasible choices. And that's been very good. But when I look
Nice.
around me, not everybody has had that kind of messages. Or
Nice.
sometimes your brother works for, yeah. Yeah. In cases of people I know, it's been very different. Who had
Mhm.
small children at home and spouses in medical professions who've just been driving themselves crazy.
Right. That's nice to hear.
It also made us
So,
realize how much we depend on our parents, like the grandparents, to look after the children.
mhm.
And now we have to take care of them and not come close to them. And now we see how much they've been doing. They've been doing an incredible lot that now we have to do ourselves.
All of these beautiful lessons of appreciation. But okay, but you had a lot of support from your colleagues who were all, in terms of professionally, but I'm sure that also helped as a parent. What did you hear from other parents that perhaps did not have a connection to educational experts, so to say, as far as how they coped and where their source of help came from.
Well, like I said, my daughter's teacher's been very good. And I know she's
Yeah.
also been good with the parents. She's made sure to be in touch with all the children from the very first week onwards. And she's been very clear on, okay, the tools don't matter. Whatever it takes, we'll be in touch. And so she called us all into school in the first week. We all came. She just gave us like hard copy stuff. And when we wouldn't come into school, she would go to the students' houses, the people's houses. And then it was so funny because my son and his friend were talking on WhatsApp the other day.
Yeah.
They're really good at video calling. For them, it's perfectly normal while they're 8 years old. And they said, you know what happened? The teacher was in front of her door. I can't believe she did it. It's such a breach of privacy.
So the 8-year-old is concerned about the privacy. Oh my God.
This wonderful lady is doing her best and just being told off by 8-year-olds. But anyway, so that's what she's been doing. And that was, I think that's been a big help for many parents there.
Yeah. But it's amazing that she went to people's houses.
She's amazing. She's a real example.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. That's wonderful.
Also, my kids are very diverse school in the center of Leiden.
Okay.
And I think that they've been really working hard to cater for everyone.
Yeah.
Now, after 3 weeks, she's got this system going in which she caters for like people who need extra help, but she also caters for excellent students who need extra challenge.
Yeah.
Just like 15 minutes. So yeah, she's been a real example and a great help and a great support. I think both to me, but also to parents who need it.
Right.
But I've seen parents who didn't have that who are very, very struggling very much.
Yeah.
And looking for help, you know?
Yeah.
But instead of help, they got like 10 different links to 10 different online platforms.
Yeah. I've heard those stories too.
Yeah. With the best of intentions.
Yeah. Of course. You know, I have no doubts about the intention, but it's so focused on this work needs to get done, not thinking about how or on the receiving end, how complicated that might be or how feasible and all this kind of things.
Yeah, I talked to my friend, and my friend is a nurse, and her husband works as an accountant, but he's also caring for his parents. And they were so overwhelmed. They said, we don't know what the teacher wants. We don't know whether our children are going to be behind. We don't know whether they will have a big language deficiency after 3 weeks of not talking to anyone. But we also don't know how to talk to people. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Some of these questions you've already asked. What do you wish had been different, if anything? And you know, as a parent, what do you wish would have been different, other than no corona?
Yeah, no corona would be a good. Yeah, it would have been good, and maybe we wouldn't have ignored the signs, but that we would have started to think about this 1 week before lockdown or 2 weeks before lockdown. Yeah. But this is a very difficult thing, you know. But next time it will happen, and it might happen. It would be good to anticipate instead of, coming up with everything on the spot. Because I felt that sometimes, also some teachers in both my contexts have kind of been, almost ignoring the things that were happening. So they kind of left it going for quite some time. But I know we have like a fight or flight or freeze reaction that we have to disasters. And I've just seen some people who had a freeze reaction, which made it very difficult for the students and for the pupils and for the parents to know what to do there.
Okay.
And maybe in those first weeks, it would have been really good to. No, that's it. But if we would have thought about it before, we would have really stressed the core of what needed to happen instead of all the things around it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll take that lesson with us.
Mm,
Of course, we hope that it never happens again, but it's quite possible, and then we'll be better prepared.
yeah.
Um,
Also, can I say one more thing? It would also be good next time to start talking to each other instead of
mm,
start hiding behind our own computers and inventing the wheels all by ourselves.
yeah,
Because I think it
yeah,
stressed
yeah, yeah,
everyone out individually while we could stress or stress less together.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. Stress less together. I like that. That's a good quote. Let's stress less together. It's a tongue twister too. That's a good tongue twister.
Okay.
um, as far as an educator, you had great support, you had great leadership, and I'm so glad to hear that. What was this like for you in terms of the amount of hours? I heard from a lot of people that they put in a lot more work hours than normally. Was that the same for you?
Well, seeing that I've been developing more than I've been teaching, I think
Yeah.
I spent about the same amount of hours, but that's also
Okay.
because I'm already used to developing education. So I'm already
Yes.
used to thinking in this way.
Okay.
But I
Good.
think if you have to learn this from scratch, then it will
Yes.
take more time.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
For example, if you have to figure out how to translate your education to an online environment and then you try things out and you want to try them out perfectly and then it doesn't work, then it's going to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
But to me,
Yeah.
it's really get a time in different ways to really focus on the core, both
Yeah.
at home and in my work. What do we want to achieve? What do we really need? How do we involve the students? How do we involve like my kids and their friends? And then
Yeah.
get that going.
Nice. Nice.
But
Um,
otherwise, I've seen colleagues who I really admire them who've been turning all their offline face-to-face teaching into small work online teaching, and they've been working so hard.
yeah.
Yeah,
And as admirable as that is, I wonder how long can you last that way?
yeah, that's true. That's true.
You know?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and if this has to go on now through June, I mean, it's noble,
No, but you can't.
you know?
You can't.
Yeah.
That's why I think it makes sense to focus on the core. What do we really want to achieve?
Yeah.
Focus on that, and all the rest is like nice to have.
Yeah.
But also
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
next year, we can already anticipate our not all items are going to be back in
Yeah.
September.
Yeah.
Especially in an international program as our international business, it's
Yeah.
not we're not going to be there, so we better start thinking about it now instead of over
Yeah.
asking ourselves then.
Yeah. And have you heard anything about students who did not have access to computers? Because I know there are students who come to the library to use the computers, or they have a laptop that might be old, that might not be able to, sometimes some of the things that they have to download take up a lot of data, and you might not have an up-to-date, even if you have a computer. Have you heard anything about that?
In my own class, I haven't really heard about it. On the
Mhm.
No, I just haven't heard about it. They all submitted their work, but I know that in my kids' class, it happened quite a lot. The
Yeah.
school catered for laptops. Parents didn't have one,
Yeah.
and the teachers just changed their education to offline, mostly offline. So it's all stencils and books and
Old
workbooks.
school.
Just old school, and then communication can be done
Yeah.
by everybody's at a cell phone. So we have like Google Meet on the cell phone to talk to the teacher, and everything
Yeah.
else at school on paper. Because you
Okay.
don't want those kids
Nice.
behind the screen all day. I mean, there's like the primary school children, you don't want them stuck to a screen and kind of
Right.
do
Right.
that. So that's what they did.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
yeah.
Now, one of the things that you said, and I'm jumping back and forth between the parent and the teacher, but one of the
Yeah.
things you said about your family, and correct me if I'm wrong, you said one of the reasons that the children liked it is because of the rhythm, but also the time that they get to spend with you and your husband,
They
right?
love it.
That's also,
They really like
yeah,
it.
yeah,
And I also really like it.
yeah, 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 yeah. So, what will that be like when they have to go back to school?
Yeah. We're all dreading it, I think. It's
Mm,
very double.
yeah, yeah.
And I think in
So, is there
this
anything? Go ahead.
Like in our school, like the university is still closed. So I think so. I'll be home for the rest of the year, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
And keeping this up.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So and afterwards, well, it's something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah. If there's one thing that you could take with you after this is over, we're going to assume that it's going to end. If there's one thing that you could take with you that you could keep going, what would that be?
I think that this is very difficult. I think that when you focus on like the most important things and leave the rest kind of more open so everybody can do their own thing, and things actually flow much more nicely. You can actually do, you have much more quality of everything.
Yeah.
Of life, of the things you do, of your connections with students and especially with the kids, that actually makes it better instead of worse. So less of this control, less of this, everything in boxes and a bit more for freedom. But you need to know what to focus on to have that freedom.
Yeah. Yeah. And I also hear you talk a lot about community and the importance of community, right? It's like I didn't realize how important, the role of the grandparents, your colleagues, your management, all that support. You have a wonderful teacher who comes to the house.
Yeah.
Even though the 8-year-old doesn't like it, but that whole, but that whole sense of connectedness and community. So even though we started talking about education, we end up, I hear a lot about the importance of community.
Maybe that's even a more important lesson. That if we all, I can't really find the words to say it. But in this time, we're all so much more connected than we normally are, because we all have to do this together, and it makes it very valuable in many ways.
Yeah, and it's ironic that even though we are physically separate, that we are more together.
More together than before, definitely.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, I think that's a good note to close on. Do you have any last words, insights that you would like to share?
I hope that we can keep the valuable connectedness and the lessons that we learn now when we go back to our everyday life.
Yeah.
In any way. Or when this becomes a new normal, I hope we don't retract back into doing our own thing and going for our own goals.
Yeah.
This up. Because that's been very lovely to see and even better to experience, I think.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, Marloes, thank you so much for talking with me and for sharing. Like I said, I want to talk to some different people and just get some different feedback. So you were my first. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I hope that the people who will be watching it also get inspired. I mean, I already got a lot out of it. I don't have small children at home, thank goodness. So for me, in that sense, it's been easy. But I really appreciate you sharing your insights and your experiences. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.